She had taken a short vacation from college and visited Namas City to be with her family and friends. But the 22-year-old's holiday ended in a shocker, with monsters outraging her modesty in a moving car. Here's a report. July 10, 2014, 11:30 p.m. The night of horror. A 22-year-old student of post-graduation studying in Mangalore was all happy as she stopped at her apartment on Spencer Road. During her brief leave from college, she had caught up with most of her friends in the city and chilled out with them. On that fateful night too, she had just returned from a restaurant with one of her friends. She was sitting inside the car right outside her apartment and chatting with him. All was fine until a group of men approached them in another car. That's when the night of horror unfolded. The four men who had come in the Skoda Fabia car surrounded them first and asked the 22-year-old to step out of the car. Even her friend was asked to get out of the car. The men then told the duo that they had spotted them regularly in the car and that their misdeeds would be reported to the police. They reportedly asked the duo to get into the Skoda Fabia without raising an alarm. Sensing something fishy, the girl's friend asked her to run to her residence. But the girl couldn't make it till her apartment gate. She was caught by the four men and reportedly forced into her car along with her friend. The three men accompanied the duo and left the spot, while the fourth person belonging to the gang followed the Honda City in the Skoda Fabia.
We're standing here on Spencer's Road outside the apartment where the entire incident took place. Now, this is probably the formation in which the cars were placed that night. Now, while the victim and her friend were waiting in a Honda City park, something similar to this. Now, the Skoda Fabia was moving around this road a couple of times. While the two noticed this particular car, they've actually come and stopped their car right in front, just like how these cars are placed right now. Now, while they asked her girl to get down and actually go along with them in the Skoda Fabia, this is where she tried to escape, go to the gate, but as you see, the security cabin not right next to the gate, a little distance away from here, due to which she could not manage reaching there or seeking help. Immediately she was grabbed and pulled by these two people, and they were made to sit in back in the same car once again. So this was where it took place. From here they were again taken back to the Coxtown railway station, where they continued to sexually assault her.
Kidnapped, threatened and molested. At first, the gang members demanded 50,000 rupees from the duo to set them free. But the girl knew the monsters were not after money. And as she expected, the monsters began to act. When the girl asked the kidnappers to let go of her, one of them demanded sexual favors from her. She tried to resist and pleaded with them that she would give them money. But the kidnappers were least interested in her money. Reportedly, one of them who was sitting beside her slipped his hand into her shirt and touched her inappropriately. They drove around the city for nearly an hour before they headed towards the railway track near Coxtown. 1:30 a.m. On reaching the railway track, the 22-year-old's friend was forced out of the car. Two gang members reportedly held him at knife point and took him to a secluded place. Meanwhile, the other man by name Haider Nazar stayed in the car and threatened the young woman with dire consequences if she didn't cooperate with him. The victim had no choice but to follow the order given by the kidnapper. For the next 15 minutes, Haider reportedly sexually molested the young woman. After satisfying his sexual urge, the kidnapper let the two go free, but not before snatching the girl's friend's watch.
For almost 1.5 to 2 hours, they were keeping these people in restraint, and they were roaming around in the city of Bangalore, and they had sexually molested her also during this roaming. Then they had taken her to a deserted place in somewhere near Foxtown, and again they had done this sexual molestation and harassment, everything. Meanwhile, these three friends of Haider Nazir had held the girl's boyfriend at knife point.
The devastated woman returned home. She didn't know whom to discuss the matter with, but the smart woman had noted down the number of the Skoda Fabia car in which her offenders had come. For the next 2 days, the victim, along with her friends, went around the city on the lookout for the car. They were lucky on Sunday when they spotted the same car on Mosque Road, and the man was none other than Nazar Haider, who had sexually molested her. No sooner she spotted him, her friends nabbed him and handed him over to the police. The young woman even mustered the courage to file a police complaint at Fraser Town Police Station on Sunday. To the inspector, Fraser Town Police Station, Bengaluru. I, along with a friend, were assaulted and I was molested by one of them. I informed the police on July 14, 2014. The incident happened at 12:15 a.m. on 11th July outside my residence in Fraser Town. They barged into the car, pushed us out of the car and pushed us to the back seat. There were 2 guys on either side of us and 2 in the front. They came in the Skoda Fabia car bearing registration number KA03MJ8433. The man sitting next to me, identified as Nazar Haider, tried putting his hand into my shirt. When I refused, he threatened to take us to the police station, saying he and his friends were policemen. He then put his hand into my shirt and started touching my chest. He took off my innerwear and said, "Give me 5 minutes," following which he would let me go. The men kept driving around and stopped near the Coxtown railway track. The 3 guys got down from the car and also dragged my friend out. They held a sharp object against his neck and asked him to keep his mouth shut. The man Nazar stayed in the car with me. He unzipped his pant and asked me to hold his. He then started biting my chest. He pushed my head down and asked me to suck it. On being satisfied, he let us go in our car. They also asked us 50,000 rupees and snatched my friend's watch. He kept threatening to file a case if we tried to contact someone through phone. He had a police's image on his mobile. I kindly request you to take the necessary action and arrest the 4 criminals. The police filed an FIR. They even arrested Nazar Haider following the complaint and went on the lookout for the absconding trio. But what the Pulikeshi Nagar police failed to do was to send the 22-year-old for medical examination. Not just that, they even failed to file a complaint under IPC sections of kidnap and rape. Following the lapses, the DCP has ordered an inquiry into the matter. The jurisdictional police has also been directed to change the sections. The case has been handed over to an ACP and a team of 3 inspectors has been formed to investigate into the matter.
Kidnapping section has not been added and the rape section has not been added, and a medical test has not been done. So following this came to our knowledge yesterday itself, and the investigation has been transferred to the ACP now. ACP Pulikeshi Nagar will be carrying on the investigation further. Already he has sent an application to the court saying that adding the relevant sections also. So there were reports in media that the complainant was not allowed to write some words which would use the ingredients, but the complaint has sufficient material to show that to add sections of kidnapping and rape also. It's being done now. And regarding the lapses of the IO or the inspector or the station house officer of Pulikeshi Nagar, ACP and Pulikeshi Nagar is going to conduct an enquiry, and the enquiry will be submitted today itself, by today evening itself.
Nazar Haider is behind bars while the police have launched a manhunt to nab the absconding trio. This shocking incident in Namma city has shamed Bengaluru again. This is not the first time that such incidents have been reported in Bengaluru. With strict measures in place, crimes against women are still on the rise. One wonders, when will it all stop, and will it ever? Deepak Bopanna for News 9, Bengaluru.